Welcome to Block 8 of our Block of the Month 2022. This month's block needs 4 fabrics: a background, a medium, a dark, and an accent fabric. A downloadable version of this pattern may be found in the Files section of our Facebook group called The Quilted Forest Friends, or you may screenshot it and print it at home, or you can push pause and take notes. We'll show it again at the end of the video. It's time to cut. From the background fabric, cut one square that is 6 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. You will bisect this square twice, corner to corner, to make 4 triangles. You also need to cut 4 squares that measure 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. You will bisect each of these squares once to get 8 triangles. From the medium fabric, you need to cut one square that is 6 1/4 inches by 6 1/4 inches. You'll bisect this twice, corner to corner, for 4 triangles. From the medium fabric, you also need to cut 4 rectangles that measure 4 inches by 6 inches. From the dark fabric, you need to cut 4 squares that measure 4 inches by 4 inches. You also need to cut 4 squares that measure 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. Bisect each of these squares once, corner to corner, to make 8 triangles. From the accent fabric, you need to cut one square that measures 4 inches by 4 inches. I've been busy cutting the fabrics for my red, white, and blue version, and also the version that has the black background and the bright colors. Now it's time to get them pieced together. Make sure you're piecing with 1/4 inch seam allowances. We're going to start by making 4 flying geese units. You're going to piece the dark triangles onto the short sides of the medium triangles. I'm going to sew them on one side first, and then I'm going to press, and then I'll sew the other side. You're going to press towards the dark fabric. Once you have them pressed, you need to trim them to 3 inches by 5 1/2 inches. You won't be trimming a lot off these. You're basically taking the triangle points at the top off and maybe shaving a little bit off the sides. And here are the flying geese versions for my red, white, and blue version, and for my black background with bright colors version. We're going to add the large background triangle to the top of the flying geese unit. Make sure that the flying geese unit and the large triangle that you're sewing onto it will point the same direction. You're going to center it and just use your 1/4 inch seam allowance. This time we're pressing towards the background fabric. Now we're going to add the smaller background triangles to the sides of this unit. Make sure it matches up on the corners there. And then when you have both sides sewn on, this will turn into a large triangle unit. I will usually sew both of the sides on before I take it to the ironing board. That way I can get a lot of sewing done without having to press in between. For this part, you are also ironing towards the background fabric. Take a moment once these are pressed to trim off these little triangles that hang over the side. The fastest way to clean these little triangles up is to use a lint brush, one of my favorite tricks. I'm keeping up with my other colorways, the red, white, and blue, and the black background with the bright colors. Piece the 4 dark 4-inch squares to the medium 4-inch by 6-inch rectangles and press the seams open. Piece an accent square between 2 of the units and press towards the dark fabric. This long unit will measure 4 inches by 24 inches. If you're enjoying our Block of the Month series, make sure you hit that like button. I can't wait to see how these blocks turn out. I think they're going to really look different from each other. Piece the triangle units on opposite sides of the 4-inch by 9.5-inch rectangle units. Make 2 of this unit and you are going to press toward the rectangles. Make sure that the point of the triangle is next to the dark square. Later this month, there will be another Block of the Month video, which will get us started on the border sections and the sashing sections to put the quilt top together. I'm going to show 3 different ways to finish off the quilt top. Each of my colorways will have just a little bit different way that I'm going to set them. Make sure that you're pressing towards the dark fabric, the rectangle pieces. Piece the triangle units onto opposite sides of the rectangle unit. Press towards the rectangle unit. I did pin this together just to make sure that in the center, all my seams were matching up perfectly. After you've pressed it for the last time, once it's nice and flat, you are going to trim this block down to 15.5 inches by 15.5 inches. In the quilt, it will measure 15 inches by 15 inches. But for now, trim it to 15.5 by 15.5. I have a large 16.5 inch ruler, which makes it easy for me to trim these blocks down when they're a little bit larger. But if you need to, you can use a 6 inch by 24 inch ruler along with a 12.5 inch ruler to get the measurements right. The oversized rectangles on the corner and using the trimming to get those perfect points means you don't have to cut out a funky shape. You just have to cut off the excess fabric. We invite you to hit that like button, share this block of the month with your quilting friends, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe so you can see all the fun videos we will post in the future. Thanks for watching and happy quilting!